People, deluded, I'm back again. We're live. I hope you're all doing well and safe. I apologize. You're going to see a bit of a glitch there, which you probably did. Now I'm probably sounding a bit better. That's because I noticed that my headphones, or better yet, the mic wasn't connected. I apologize for being a minute late. I'm not going to sit here and cat people. I was hungry. I was eating a bit of toast. I thought I had enough time, It is what it is. I hold my hands up, man. I'm not the first person to be a minute late. I'm not going to be the last. And I give you a hell of a load of content. So I think you can allow me. Like, I hope you're all hitting the like button first and foremost. I hope you've all hit the reminder button, because me and Curtis Shaw will be live on my channel at 12. And I also hope that you lot have had time to listen to the Deluded podcast, or are going to make way for it. There's an hour of jam-packed stuff. You lot know me. It's a bag of content. And I can always bet on certain sort of people being in the live chat. Big up yourself, M. Always here. Like he said, smash the like button. Live from Planet X. It's, you're working on Australian time. So it's a madness over there in terms of the time. I really appreciate your commitment and your loyalty. Big up Mr. Adlib23 in the building as well. He said, yo, DG, do you think a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1 would work? I wouldn't be against a 4-4-2. Obviously a lot of it is, we're going to get onto it, but when you see Lacazette doing the false nine, you can find balance there. Obviously, you've got two wingers. Personally, I think with Thomas Partey, previously, I've always said when people ask me about this, I'm not confident, because I think 4-4-2 comes down to the pivot. And I still think there's concerns. But with Partey obviously coming into the team and whatnot, I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind a 4-4-1-1 because it is structured. And whatnot, you'd have a free role for a creative man, and then you could have, I assume, Aubameyang through the middle. Out of the two, I'd actually rather the second, the latter, but I'd be open to them. Mr. Adlib. Big up yourself, Skyto, for jumping in as well. It's lovely to see all the members locked in. I apologize for the early stream. I know I've got you lot early doors, people, but it is what it is in that regards. Like I said, morning, evening, night, we've got hell host of content. And spoiler alert, you'll see them. Make sure you're checking the YouTube community tab. Make sure you've got your notifications on, because there's a lot more content to come today and over tomorrow. Then obviously the grind don't stop, because we've got the watch along on Sunday, and then will I ever get a rest? Who knows? But there's no rest for the wicked. Big up yourself, Raz. Morning everybody, morning, wherever you are, whoever you are listening to this. Even morning to you, Planet X, because you're out there in Australia. I hope all us Arsenal fans have an extra spring in our step as well, obviously, because we won. Now, I don't want to draw conclusions on the Europa League, but you ask yourself, why can't we play like that in the league? For me, it comes down to mentality. As I said in the live stream yesterday, with all due respect, there's a golfing class really and truly between all the opposition we've played in the group stages. There's not really too much expectation. We've been in the Europa League a couple of years. We know we're getting through with our full strength team. With that game yesterday, we knew we're playing at home. We knew there wasn't, we was going to get a win and things like that. So there was a spring in our step. There wasn't pressure. So players were playing one touch, two touch passes. People were moving the ball quickly. And that's what you want to see in other games. When you see Villa start strong, or Leeds start strong, or Leicester, sitting back, I want to see that in the Premier League. And I think it's a handbrake, because a lot of our problems come with the league, and it's a welcome relief. Players can go out there. There's a rotation. There's less expectation. But at the same time, I think it just simply comes down to mentality. And this is what I mean by, tactics are valid, formations are valid, but it's all about the mindset, how you prepare yourself, go out there and enjoy yourself. Like you said, they enjoyed themselves, and that's what you got to do. But I want you to enjoy yourself in hard pressure environments. I want you to enjoy yourself on Sunday. That means realizing the threat that Spurs have, the fact that they're unbeaten in the last couple of games, and rising to the challenge. You should want to play. Pressure is a privilege. You should see pressure, see fans pressure, see question marks, and take it in your stride. And that's the issue with our boys, and it's pretty chilling and damning. You look at Arsenal, people, and you look at I need to scroll up because I DM myself quite a lot of stuff, people. And here are the stats. I was gonna save these, but I might as well get early doors. It's not really relevant, but it is relevant. Shout out to Eddie Nketiah. He scored his 11th goal for Arsenal at a distance of just over 9 years, which sees the average distance of those goals soar to 5.4 yards on average. So very much a fox in the box, Eddie Nketiah. Looking at it, people, as I said, Arsenal also have more points in the Europa League than they have in the Premier League. We've got 13 in the Premier League. We've got 15 from 5 in this. We've had 10 or so chances in the league and we've not done it. That shows you we struggle with consistency over a larger period of time. And if we was to consider the micro, what is the league, people? 38 games. What is Europa? You know, you've got the 6 or so league group stage games. I think there's about 3-4 other rounds till you get to the finals. I don't know how many games there are, but I know there's less over the league. This shows you that, you know, you need to show consistency over a sustained period, because you can be up for the occasional Europa League. You've got to be up for every Premier League team and every Premier League game. And that's pretty chilling, really. You know, Europa League has been our safe haven. One thing I think is players, especially the young ones, have played with a point to prove, whether they've started or come off the bench. And that's helped us. And as well, people, we've got more points across the Europa League. We've mustered 94 shots across 5 games in the Europa League and only mustered 95 across 10 Premier League games. Again, that is down to the tactics and something Arteta is doing or not doing, but that's also down to the players and the mentality. It's fully down to them, people. You know, you can't, like, that would make me sick, really and truly. Like, I would ask myself, why can't we take that over to the Premier League sort of thing? You know, I'm not too sure about now, but prior to everybody kicking off in the Europa League, I've said this a number of times across my live streams now. Only Hoffenheim and Spurs had better had more shots in front of goal than us in the Europa League. You got to look at the Premier League stats. Where are we for goals? Where are we for shots? Where are we, you know? We ain't really got invention and intention to what we're doing, people. In fact, we had 11 shots on target last night. That's the most we've had in a single game under Arteta, and it's Arsenal's most since against Cardiff in 2018 of September. I'm pretty sure that was the game we came from behind and Lacazette and Aubameyang patterned it. Also, we're chasing a bit of positive history because Arsenal have never won all 6 games in the group stages of a European competition, people. So there's a lot to think about. So like I said, more shots, more goals. We're doing better in that regards. If for those of you who care about goal involvements and things like that, in terms of goal involvements for 2020-21 across all competitions, Pepe has 6, which is 4 goals and 2 assists. You've got Aubameyang with 1 goal and 1 assist, 4 goals with 5. Joe Willock's 3 assists and 2 goals, puts him level with Aubameyang for 5, less goals obviously. Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette have 4 goals apiece. Bellerin and Willian both have 3 assists. Willian's riding off 2 of Fulham and got his recent one last week against Wolves. Saka's got 1 goal, 2 assists and had a hand in 3. Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe both have been involved in 2. You know, Smith Rowe in recent weeks has a goal and assist, and so does Nelson. So 1 goal, 1 assist. Gabriel has 2 goals. You know, you've got Balogun, Luiz, and Marie with a single goal for the club. And you've got Maitland-Niles and Dani Ceballos with assists. So again, we need to share the workload out. We need to have better productivity in terms of numbers. I do think Arteta's coaching can improve that in a regards and take us up another level, but to a degree, we're not going to get that far with the level of players we have. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Big up all the Twitch viewers. Big up yourself, DG. Big up yourself as well, One True Villain, and everybody locked in. Like Emma said, our players aren't built for pressure. Exactly. You know, that's why we do well when we go into these occasional cup games in the FA Cup where people think City's going to smack us, or, you know, Mertesacker's injured against Chelsea in an FA Cup final and we play well. We relish the underdog status. It don't help us in Europa because, you know, European teams are very, in my opinion, more clued up, and it's more highlighted the individual mistakes and how much you pay for them. But that tells you, you know, we're not built for pressure. Pressure is a privilege. If you're playing for Arsenal, even if you're playing for Spurs, if you're playing for Chelsea, United, City, Liverpool, if you can't take pressure, you should not be playing for these clubs. And it's facts what Em is saying. It's fully facts. Like Raz is saying, we need some heart, grit, determination. Well, apologies, people. We need some heart, gritness, and leadership on Sunday. I think El Nene was a bit rusty yesterday, but for me, El Nene plays. You know, I think Maitland-Niles has played his way into the team as well. I don't think Maitland-Niles and Reece Nelson are going to start, but I would like to see Maitland. You know, hopefully Partey is fit. I would like to see Partey and Maitland and throw in at El Nene, because we ain't got a creative man. Let's just go out there and do what we need to do. Sort of thing. I don't mind going out there with 3, you know, box to box. Let's go and match their fight. You know, they're coming with Sissoko. You know, they're coming with Højbjerg. I think Lemina has a knock, but he's good for these little big games as well. They've got Lo Celso. They've got Ndombele. You know, fair enough, Ndombele might not be the fittest, but we have to be prepared to run. I know there's a lot of talk in relation to Lacazette playing in that 10 position. As well, and to be fair, I wouldn't mind it. Why I wouldn't mind Lacazette in that 10 position? Why I wouldn't mind Lacazette in that 10 position is because first and foremost, you know, Lacazette playing in that 10 role, or that support striker role, whatever you want to call it, for me, is the closest thing I've seen this season to try and mitigate or to try and, you know, coach attacking or try and find a solution to breaking the lines and things. I don't want to get too gassed. Of course, you look at it yesterday. We had way too much, players had way too much time and space. Spurs are not going to give you that. Højbjerg is going to clamp, man. Sissoko is going to clamp you. We know Lacazette can play the neat play. So first and foremost, he's going to have less time. I do think, while Lacazette's got a lot of creativity, and we need to remember he once got 10 assists, I do think people overestimate his creativity. He's not going to be no mad false nine, but I don't mind it because I'm not seeing either Willian in the 10, Ozil integrated back in, Smith Rowe starting. You know, Lacazette is the closest thing I'm seeing to a solution by Arteta to say, cool, let's bring some creativity. So if he was going to do a thing where if Partey's fit, you know, you go with Partey, you go with Maitland-Niles, or you go with El Nene and Partey, you go with Lacazette in that role. It keeps Aubameyang back through the middle. You know, on the left-hand side, for me, it's Bukayo Saka. I would go with Nelson on the right. I think the youth will set us free, but it probably will be Willian. I actually feel Xhaka is going to play as well. That's what I potentially would go with. Why I'm not for it is because, as you know, Lacazette's on the big games and he scored in this fixture last year. But I do think if you go with Lacazette and you go with a Lacazette behind, you go with Aubameyang, you know, I don't mind it. Play your best players, but we've got nothing off the bench then, you know. Bellerin needs to be on the bench. We can't put too much pressure. Eddie's hot and cold. You ain't really got nothing off the bench. Nelson, if he plays, I wouldn't mind Lacazette, but I just think we can't read too much into that game when you had really, you know, the opposition were like pedestrians. They were sat there admiring us way too much. They were sitting back way too much and just respecting us way too much. You know, admittedly, I'd rather see Saka playing that 10 position, but I don't mind it. That might even be a role Lacazette has to consider as he gets older because he's not the most prolific. You know, I don't know if it's been injuries or natural decline, but he's never been the quickest, but he's lost that short little explosion of power. Maybe the support striker or 10 sort of position is for him. You know, we've always said he could play there. Steve Boulder said that as well. Maybe this could be him. You know, it takes the emphasis on scoring off him. It gives him another role again. As he's 29, there's something to consider. For me, I would like Lacazette to accept that he's a plan B rotation option and he can play in the 10. I would like to, I wouldn't mind it, but I would like to see Saka or Smith Rowe in that role also. So I wouldn't mind Lacazette playing in that role, but it's you know, Lacazette's good with his back to goal. He's good in tight spaces. He's good without having time on the ball. Spurs are going to be aggressive, so he could thrive. But you know, to a degree, is it worth playing players in their best position? Because what happens if Lacazette goes and plays against Spurs and he has a shocker? Now, he has a shocker because he's had a shocker, but at the same time, can you really blame, man? That's why we can't go too crazy, you know. For me, Maitland-Niles has played his way into that team. We're going to speak about Arteta's comments, but I think Maitland-Niles has played his way into that team. I would like to see him play. You know, the only thing you can criticize from Maitland-Niles yesterday is he should have at least had a brace, you know. He's dynamic. He puts himself around. He's agile. He does what he needs to do. So I wouldn't mind Maitland-Niles getting a look in. And he's a young player. You know, him and Nelson, you know, they want to be in the starting lineup. I'm seeing too many players put in poor performances and still get a start. Like, with all due respect to Willian, once we kick off against Spurs, you get my respect. But the Willian, the Bellerin, you know, did these men deserve to start week in, week out? No, they don't. At least Reece Nelson and Maitland, they might try and grab opportunities, or they've got a reason to play well. If not, we move. I know man will say this is a game for experience and all of these things, but it's overstated, people, in my opinion. I personally think Xhaka, Bellerin will start. Again, I don't want to read too much into the squad and the lineup, but I think that those two will start, especially Bellerin. And again, it's time to prove people wrong in that regards. Would you play Martinez in a 10? I don't know. Who are you talking about? I assume you mean Martinelli, and no, I'd like to see Martinelli on the left or up front. But if you mean Martinez, the goalie, I'll put you on timeout for the banter. It's too early for foolishness. It's 11:15 here in the UK. We have a bit of a laugh and a joke when Curtis comes. Right now, it's a serious thing. That's it, you know. He isn't the solution, but he's proven a little role. He's proven he can find something for himself. And for me, Nene plays for me. You know, a half-fit Partey starts. If he is passing fitness test, he plays, and so does El Nene. And then you can go with either Maitland-Niles and make it a flat midfield three. Then we can talk about Lacazette through the middle, you know, potentially just go Partey, Maitland, and him, Maitland-Niles and El Nene, or look to bring in Ceballos, because Ceballos hasn't covered himself with any blade of glory. But at least if you was to go El Nene, Maitland and Ceballos, you've got Ceballos who's a bit different. It's a bit too similar with Xhaka, and I think it's a game for mobility. Like, again, away from home, Højbjerg is quite dynamic. Ndombele is, Sissoko gets about, Lo Celso, Lemina, these sort of men do as well. And also, we never talk about midfielders having to help out in wide areas as well. I don't think it's a dynamic enough game for Xhaka. I'm not going to lie, Xhaka has played big games where we've won, but I just feel it's no coincidence how, as poor as you can say that United team is, it's no coincidence that we won without Xhaka in the team. I still think Xhaka is needing to be utilised over the squad. I would be open to offers, and his time will come, but you get the point. That's it, and to be fair, you see Harry Kane drop. Really, you do have to question his Lacazette stamina and overall fitness, because Kane does all of that and still scores. Big up John Wayne in the building. Thoughts on Smith Rowe's experience and performance? Good little cameo from Smith Rowe. Looks a bit more experienced. Looks a bit more decisive. We can't really judge him because we ain't really seen him over a prolific period. But I like what I see from him personally. I think he's going on loan, but I would like to see him. And that's it. Experience is overrated when players are naive and poor. Experience, it all depends, because there can be an inexperienced 30-year-old and then there's an experienced 19-year-old. It's all about intelligence. Brandon, I was going to speak about that. Allegedly, Patrick Vieira has been sacked. I saw that when I was coming into here. A lot of people spoke about, Patrick Vieira potentially being the man instead of Arteta. And it hasn't ended well for Patrick Vieira at the last couple of clubs he's been at. There was talk of bringing Saliba to that club. Like I said, if Vieira was there, I wouldn't mind it. But my first opportunity to loan him out would be to St Etienne, because he knows them. But thoughts are with Patrick Vieira. Hopefully he can find a new role. Arsenal Queen, who would you partner Gabby with if we play a back four? Probably for the immediate future, the short-term future. I think it has to be that David Luiz in that position. I would like to see, just because, listen, if the penny finally drops for Willian and he turns up against Spurs, then fair enough. But it's got to the point where, and if it's a thing where Arteta says, Willian's giving me what I've wanted, then cool. But I don't think Willian's justifying starting. And it wasn't when Pepe was here. So I'm saying Nelson. If Nelson plays poorly, hook him at half time. It's as simple as that. You had your chance. You never took it. I just feel Willian is getting too many opportunities and not taking them really and truly. He's not. I would like Smith Rowe on the bench in the same way I would like Bellerin on it as well. I think we need Bellerin on that bench. Good comments, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Big up the 100 people here. Lacazette does have good hold-up play. I do think people overstate it, though. I'm not going to lie. I do think hold-up play. I used to be one of them guys, and I think Lacazette's creativity and hold-up play is overstated. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. If William wants to turn up, tomorrow, Sunday's the day, because you didn't do it against United. You didn't do it against Liverpool. To be fair, it was all right against United. You haven't done it. So go and do it now, innit? Go and show me something. Go and show me something. That's probably what you will see. I mean, I can't convincingly say Nelson will come on. Adam has said score prediction. I don't know, man. We'll get into that in other streams. I don't know for any of that. They have been very poor, man. Emmanuel said, my gut told me you were live, I don't know why you ain't got the notifications on or why they're doing you lot dirty, but big up the people tuned in, man. It means a lot. It's 10 to 11 and you lot are here, man. Big up yourselves, Artekas, like he said. Derek, again, thank you very much to all the members. They're always here. Like Christian said, hit the likes. But Derek has said, morning, GDG. Morning to you, Derek. I don't want to see Xhaka playing for Arsenal ever again. Same thing I thought 2 years ago, to be honest. I'm not Xhaka's biggest fan, but I'm not his biggest hater. I do think he has some qualities. I do think, for me, I've said all the names in it. I don't believe in Willian. I don't believe in Xhaka. I'm not convinced with Bellerin. I don't believe in Cedric. The jury's still out on Marie. He's not to throw him in with them. Leno, I'm not his biggest fan, but we need all of these men over the season. If an offer comes in for Xhaka, I agree, Derek. Let's listen to it. But our bodies are dropping like flies. We need to kind of keep the squad together. Even someone like Mustafi, I'd be encouraged to listen to offers for him in January because he's going to be for a free. But we might have to keep him in terms of depth and bodies. And this is why January is difficult in terms of incomings and outgoings. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think you mean Sunday, but he is definitely playing, man. Definitely, in my opinion. And again, it's down to the Xhakas, the Williams, the Bellerins, and etc. Put in a good performance on Sunday. Because your man, it's got to the point you're making Arteta look like an idiot. You're making him look clueless because of the performance you're putting in. Football fans are fickle. You know, Xhaka, let's be real. You know, I'm not Xhaka's biggest fan, and it's not like he's improved, but he has had good bouts of form. He has had good games. He did do a madness in terms of, it looked like his career was ended after what happened last season, and he found a way into the team, and he was playing in good form, and we bought to numerous top sides, and he did well. The problem with Xhaka is he's one of these players that are hot and cold. When you've got one of them, man, it's cool, but collectively we've got a squad where there's not too many players you can say you're going to get a minimum 6+ out of 10 games. You're going to get some man that are 10s and then 3s, you know. Only the Tierney's and these sort of man Sakas are going to give you 6s and 7s up. I'm not saying I'm happy with a 6. I'm saying that's the minimum. You know, we don't know what we're going to get. You don't know what Arsenal is going to turn up. Some of these players have been here since 18. They're now 25, and we're still having the same old conversations, people. I'm going to get a beard and sideburns at this rate, and we're still going to be talking about, is this the season Bellerin kicks on and stuff, for example? We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. Like you said, Antonio, I got to will that back, you know. Listen, score your goals. Score your goals against Spurs if you're going to do your thing. I see a system in the Europa League and some fluidity. I don't necessarily see a system or a philosophy when we're playing within the Premier League. WD has said, do you think Arteta needs to give the players more freedom? Yes, he does. It's freedom within a framework. Don't get it twisted. Let your team know exactly what you want, but to some degree, you've got to allow the individualness, the link-up play, the sort of subconscious play between the front men and the attackers to thrive. You know, you've got to let them just freestyle it a bit, you know, and I think that's what's harming us. But again, it goes back to the mentality, because as much as tactics and things, as I said earlier, the Europa League, yes, it's the tactics and all of these things, but the players wanted to play good football. Too many times we're staring down the barrel of adversity if it was a gun, and we're resigned to just dying. We're not trying to try a thing, people. There should be 5 subs, and I fully agree with that, but at the end of the day, you know, we ain't going to get that. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Make sure you're subscribed if you've just tuned in. You know, like Emmanuel said, hit the like button on your way in. It doesn't cost a thing. Big up yourself 100 times, my guy. Thank you for the love. It means a lot that you are all tuned in. You know, that I don't know if he'll win me over, but like you said, you know, it's the perfect game. Ceballos if you play, Xhaka if you play, Willian if you play, you know, even Aubameyang in that. We're not turning on Aubameyang, but you score some goals now. This could be what gets you into the groove of things and stuff like that. You know, goals are like ketchup. Goals are like buses. You don't see one for time, you score, and then 2 at a time come. Now, I hope that's the case, of course. And Aubameyang's probably in for a long day versus Spurs if he plays through the middle, because, you know, you've got 2 tough strikers there. Trust me. We're going to, at this rate, you know, that is where we're going to go. Bro, we should have sold Bellerin to PSG, to Barcelona, to all of these sort of things, man. We should have bit their hand off for that, you know. Bellerin is becoming eclipsed. I don't want to make this a bash on Bellerin, but, you know, Bellerin's been here since 18, you know. You should be up there with Trent Alexander-Arnold. In the same way Arsenal fans are shameless and we say Tierney's the best in the league or whatever, we should be saying that with Bellerin, but too many men have lapped you. You know, I think I like Wan-Bissaka, but I think some parts of his play are concerning. He is way better than Bellerin, in my opinion. You know, I don't think Bellerin's improved defensively. I think he's overrated going forward. I don't think there's consistency. I think Bellerin struggles with any sort of pace or any sort of 1v1 specialist, and there's no real consistency. Saying all of this, I like Bellerin though. We should have went Barca, should have went PSG. He's always linked with a move away, and stuff like that. I do think he's scapegoated, but he's someone that should be moved on. You know, you've seen Lamptey, Max Aarons, Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, who's a baller. You know, James Justin really as well. Bare different, even Pereira's a bit older than them at Leicester. Bare people are coming and just lapping Bellerin, and Bellerin's been here since 18. And I'm pretty sure I speak for everyone. I say there was a point Bellerin's regressed because he looked like another winger at a point when he was wearing them night vapors and he was going. I remember his goal against Liverpool. I remember how he recovered against Bayern Munich after initially getting spun. You know, Bellerin used to be a genuine option in the final third. You know, don't get twisted. Over the last 18 months, he's had his moments. He's up there for assists with us. He's had his moments this year, second half against Sheffield. He's also had his concerning ones, you know, Villa, you know, Wolves. He's looked shaky. Leeds, although I don't think Pepe helped him, so I cut him some slack there. I think Derek will go for Derek. You can't go for anyone. I meant Derek Arteta. I think he will lean towards his tried and trusted, experienced players. I would like to see Pepe and Nelson moving forward, and Saka as well. But Pepe can, as you know, Pepe can play no part on Sunday. Narco said, try to become a member, but my bank won't allow it. Apologies for that. I don't know why that is. I'd suggest calling your bank or trying another bank card or something, man. Big up CT, salute DG. I know I've said it before, but the work rate is mad. Notifications are failing me. I'm apprehensive about Sunday. Can't lie. I have a feeling Arteta will resort back to his norm, and I think that as well. I think you will see the Xhaka, you will see the Bellerin. I actually think Lacazette's played his way into the lineup, but I think that's going to come at a cost, and it's going to mean a Aubameyang through the middle, you know. I mean, on the left-hand side. I don't know why notifications are doing you lot dirty. I'm looking at that. Is there a way I could get, I might do a little sign-up thing, little MailChimp or something, so that you lot are notified whenever literally every video comes out, because it is getting quite depressing how I'm seeing that on numerous occasions that you lot are saying you haven't been notified or whatever. So it seems like YouTube continuously do me dirty in ways I fail to understand. Big up everybody locked in. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure you're aware of my channel, because I got a hell of a lot of content to come out today. 12 p.m. Curtis Shaw, and I'm not too sure on the times, but there'll be at least one, maybe two more live streams today as well before the night's done. So please make sure you're there, man. And that's it, the great I am, he needs to take it off a bit. But again, the level of opposition, the stakes weren't that high. He needs 3 points in the league. So again, when you're under pressure, you don't try things, you revert back to the norm. So I guess it's down for Arteta to show some bravery and marry what he's done with us defending and trying to switch on defensively with freeing up the shackles and allowing us to be free in the final third. But also the players, it's the mentality. You did it in the second half against Sheffield. You did it against Fulham. You've done it yesterday. So it's there in patches. Why aren't you doing it consistently? And that has to come down to the mentality, or the lack of mentality, or the mentality we want to see. Big up yourself, Elite. My Islington ones are always locked in. It means a lot that you're always consistently here. We really are the underdogs in that Spurs game, really. But when have we not been the underdogs? The last couple of games walking into Spurs the last few years, we have been the team with more to lose, with worse form, and the rest of it. I kind of answered this Arsenal queen. For me, I'd play, I guess if Bellerin, if I'm going with what I'm saying, and Maitland-Niles plays in midfield, then direct consequences, Bellerin, you could play a Cedric. But for me, if Partey is fit, then personally, I'm probably going to lean towards, Maitland-Niles playing at right back. Really, I'd probably go with a back five, really. I'm not trying to go with a back four to Spurs, really, at this moment in time. Bro, that beard's coming. Stop being that. Either way, it's still tech your girl, man. Be easy. Babyface assassin, but I'm not Oligola Social. Thank you very much, man. I don't know about legend. I'm just a man here trying to give you lot content. By God's grace, I can continue to get better. And like you said, join the Twitch gang. If you're not getting notifications, they seem to be doing what YouTube can't and doing what they can. Like Narco said, you freeloading frauds, hit the smash button, smash the like button. It doesn't cost a thing. Like, it really doesn't cost a thing. The best things in life are free. You lot all pay for your BT and your Sky Sports and Amazon packages. You're getting the best content for free, people. And do you know what, yeah? A lot of people say that I don't like to talk about a man's how does this make sense? A man's dietary needs, because I'm pretty sure if we found out like Lionel Messi is vegan, we're not going to say anything. The problem is, Bellerin's just not playing well, so it's that. I'm pretty sure Gnabry's got a vegan diet or something like that. But I do agree with it. I just think Bellerin, he's regressed, man. I have to question, has his hunger been there? Because for years he has been the first choice fullback, even to this day. Nobody's really claimed that spot. But if we all had to bet money, you're going to see him play. So I think he's really not been met with enough competition. He's not been pushed to excel enough and better himself. And I have to say, maybe he's not. I think he's just naturally stagnated because of injuries as well. And I just don't think the IQ and the consistency levels have developed. Equally, why I'm open to selling him now. Typically, at someone who's 25 years of age, when you move these man on, the penny will drop elsewhere. And like Arteta said, as much as I like Bellerin, he's not rapid anymore. He's inconsistent with his crossing. He struggles to defend consistently. And Cedric's not exactly much better himself, but I can't disagree with calls to try somebody else and whatnot. The good thing is Ceballos is here on loan. I'm not too sure for Xhaka. I'd like to move him on. Bellerin will probably stay unless he forces something, but we'll have to see. He should be starting Thursday nights, but that's Arteta's man, so he will be playing against Spurs. Marcel the chef, Hey, if you're a real chef and you're a yard man chef based on what you're saying, hit me up, man. Hit me up. Send me some food, man. Big up everybody locked in. You know, that's it. His injury got collapsed him. His injury collapsed Bellerin, but he's just not shown the consistency levels, man. He's just not shown the consistency levels. You know, it will be, you know, Aziz will get his time. Let's just be patient. He'll get his time. Hopefully, he gets to start. I say start, get some minutes in the last game. I want to see Smith Rowe start, Balogun start. Maybe give Aziz, you know, see what he's on. Let him start and let him see what he's on. Your boy and me, man said on track to win November 2021. You're taking the P. 88 has said Bellerin isn't levels. He would get dashed at any other club. He would get dashed. I just think with Bellerin, myself included, I've got some affiliation towards him because fair enough, he's not A-Len. He's an academy player. There's just something likable about him. To be fair, I think players in today's day and age lack concentration. That's why you see Klopp, not that they're not good managers, but Klopp, Conte when he was in the league, you know, Pep Guardiola, now Arteta, to a degree, Unai Emery, you know, when they're Lampard, when they're shouting, it's because, you know, players don't figure things out themselves in today's football for me. So you and they struggle to concentrate. We live in a day and age where we're speaking about defenders, but the first thing we're talking about is ball playing. Is there any coincidence we've seen hella defensive errors in the Premier League alone, hella goals? You know, the game's always been about strikers and stuff. They win the games, but it's becoming less about defending and more, you know, when you're thinking of your fullbacks now, we all know for a number of years they're like wingers. Now they're almost your creative midfielders. A lot of goals and assists come from wide areas in football now, and you've got your dynamic runners in midfield, sort of thing. So it's crazy, really and truly. And, you know, freedom within a framework is the best way to describe it for me. You know, you have what you want to do. You have centrally what you want the team to be about. But there has to be an element and a degree of freedom to allow these players to link up. You know, I think people underestimate relationship building. And that's why I wanted to see more of an established 11 from Arteta. I know there's been injuries and the rest of it. But in the league, he's apparently changed 22 times, I saw. So that tells me what we already know is that, you don't trust anyone really, but you got to really settle because, you know, that consistency and that development and then relationships all over the field, fullbacks with their wingers with their strikers with their midfielders, midfield pivots together. We ain't got that relationship, you know. Xhaka, Joe Willock, less on Joe Willock, but Joe Willock, Xhaka and Ceballos been poor in the last league games they've played. But when you look at it, how many times did Joe Willock pass to Aubameyang? How many times did these midfielders pass between each other? As much as I feel the players have to stand up to be counted and it's their fault for playing poor, that's a direct consequence of tactics and not really relationship building, because you should be knocking it about with each other and hitting it ahead, sort of thing. That's why I say when you look at this Arsenal thing, you can't really just look at it through one dim view and say it's just Arteta, or it's just the players, it's just this, it's just that. I don't think you can, in my humble opinion. But what do I know? He should continue with the young guns. He should, because at least they've got a point to prove. You know, maybe their naivety will show, but you can't also underestimate the fearlessness that young players have, people, really and truly. And I'm not being funny. Reece Nelson has started against either United or Chelsea. He definitely started one of those games at the Emirates when Arteta first walked in. He started a couple of games against Liverpool now. So again, you know, he's played. Throw these man in. If you genuinely see man as first team options, age is irrelevant if you're ready, sort of thing. Big up everybody locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button as usual. What else are you lot saying? And that's it, man. You know, Bellerin's going to get ripped. But again, I don't believe in Bellerin's capabilities right now. I don't believe in William. But if they both start, they have my support. You know, hey, he needs hard food, man. He needs to have some strong back as well, man. He needs some Baba Roots as well. Bellerin needs hella things, man. Hella things. But moving away, Tia said, if Arsenal players had DG's work rate, we'd be top of the league. I'm not too sure about that because I've got work rate. Have I necessarily got the quality? I don't believe I have when it comes to this YouTube thing. But either way, thank you very much for your praise. And maybe, man. What's your thoughts on Balogun? I think fans need to calm it down with you know, he must start every game, because, you know, fans, you know, they'll say all of this. When he looks a bit iffy, they'll change. I think he's got a good future. I like that he's strong. He looks stronger than Eddie. Not that I'm using it to beat Eddie over the head with, but I think he's strong. I like his movement. You know, I like his maturity. I really think Balogun can have a future provided he signs that contract, because it's all fun and games him playing and Arteta speaking about him and him speaking. The contract is running down, you know, and I think Balogun should at least be involved more in first team off the bench and things like that, because we've got a lack of genuine options. It's as simple as that. What else have you lot got to say? You know, not really fair. I'd like to, oh, sorry, this one. I'd like to see Willock go on loan. You know, Willock needs to try and get 20, 30 games. Is he going to get that at Arsenal? Who knows? You know, I don't think Nelson is a world beater, but I definitely think he's got Premier League quality. It's just down to him to be more consistent. You know, I think Joe Willock would put himself around, but yeah, I agree, Anonymous, in that Joe Willock wouldn't be it. If we had to go for a young midfielder, a sort of unorthodox option, for me, I'm more leaning towards Maitland-Niles, if anything. I hear that, and it's true, but to a degree, I think Ceballos is looking poor because Ceballos is looking poor. Sometimes his decision-making, holding on to the ball, the areas he picks the ball up from, simply put, just haven't been good enough, people. And I don't want my tea to get cold. Green tea and honey. And that's the thing. You see, that's the problem with Arsenal. When we sign players, we don't know what piece to the puzzle they're solving. It's like when you look at Xhaka, what is he? Some man will say he's the defensive mid. Clearly he's not. Some man will say he's box to box. No, he's not. Some man will say he's a deep lying playmaker, which he probably is. But is he undoubtedly any of this? You don't really know what Xhaka is. And we've got bare of them sort of players and have historically had a club. You know, for me, I think Joe Willock needs to just play the box to box like he's been doing in the Europa and try and get 20, 30 games. That's all he's going to get. I don't think... Do you know what? I'm being harsh because he's played his way into the lineup, but typically, I don't think Arteta is looking at Joe Willock as a genuine week in, week out Premier League starting option. And Joe Willock needs to go and get that level of football. I get that he's comfortable at Arsenal, but he speaks about wanting to play for England. You're not going to play for England with that sort of thing, man. You're not. You know, he did play up the 10, so he probably could do it, you know. Why not? I would be open to it purely because, you know, I don't see us getting a creative man in January. At least until now, there's nothing we can do unless, you know, I'm open to Lacazette getting a run out there, seeing what he's on. You know, Willian, Saka returning back into that role temporarily, the young Smith role. You know, we got to find something. And yesterday was the closest thing I saw to Arteta trying to find some sort of solution to that, people. So credit to Arteta for that. When's the next show with Hugh? Is he DG? You'd have to ask him, man. You have to ask the big man when he calls me. It's his channel. You look, gotta go spam up his thing. I'm not gonna harass Donny and get onto him really, but and beg him. But shout out to Hugh, man. He's living his own life. I don't want to be just, you know, bugging, man, and things like that. We need true, man. We need, bro. Facts, man. I can't add anything onto that. You know, I'm not too sure they play a similar position. I'm not too sure because Xhaka played. I see what you mean. In an ideal world, you know, you surround Xhaka with runners. You know, you make him that. You know, I see where he plays for Switzerland. I see why you would say that, but I don't quite think it's the same. You're up. I'm always up early, man. You know, I've got to work twice as hard. I've only got 28,000 subscribers. You know, I've got to work hard. I've got to work smart. And I thought, you know what? Very few people are doing this early thing. Let me provide some content early. Whether you're, you know, doing your college work, your coursework, you're working from home, you've got the day off, you're looking after the kids. You know, I just thought, you know, let me hit you up in it, sort of thing. Come on, people, let's get the likes up. I've spoken about this, and for me, you know, it made sense. You know, it makes sense the way he put it. You know, more crosses, more goals. I believe that. But for me, based on the Wolves game, it was 36. I believe the Twitter account Albino said, and only 3 of them found the man, and one of them was an assist. Fair enough, but that screams to me lack of ideas, hitting and hoping, sort of thing. I think he's going to retain faith in Bellerin because I think Arteta's playing favourites. But, you know, Cedric's got a genuine chance, I feel, because, you know, Cedric's a bit... I'm not trying to say... I'm not defending Cedric, innit? Because I think Cedric is shaky as well, and he has been hot and cold in the few appearances he's got. But, yeah, man, it could be something to consider. What else are you lot saying? I personally believe there's still... I do as well, because at the end of the day, he's 25. The penny can drop. I'm not completely ruling him out, but I haven't seen small little micros. And for me, it's the little antagonizing bits of playing his game that we've been speaking about since the man has been 18. So for me, at what point do I have to stop saying this? Like, it's boring, you know, it's boring. Some things are still being spoken about, you know. United fans are still screaming, is Martial a striker or on the flank? Is Bellerin a right back at Arsenal? You know, Loftus-Cheek, is he going to bang at Chelsea or not? You know, and all of these things, these players could come, well, definitely Loftus-Cheek and Martial, they could come good. They could, you know, resolve those situations. But season in, season out, we're saying the same things about the same man. And for me, right back isn't an area we should be persisting this long and saying these things. Look at what Tierney's done, Right back is an area we just need to find someone who's consistent. Go and find the next Sagna. I know it's easier said than done, but scout, having a consistent right back shouldn't be a problem. It should not be a problem. We should not be speaking about that because we know for time our defense has been booky, patting up the back five. I don't really rate Leno. I think Leno's a good shot stopper and even that shaky. But if Leno had a better defense, you'd see a better Leno. And then, I'd remove Leno as well, to be fair with you. But you get the point. You've brought in Gabriel. You've brought in Saliba eventually. Tierney's there. Go and get a right back who's levels. And in fact, another centre half if you're going to loan out Saliba, because Arteta can say he wants to improve us defensively all he wants and stuff, and I like what he's doing. But we're only going to get so far with the caliber of players. We're going to hit a glass ceiling. When you've got players that can't concentrate, that are not naturally good defenders, you can't be a world-class defensive side. It's like our attackers are better than what they're doing, but we're not going to get them to play like Luis Suarez, Neymar and Messi, because they ain't got it, But what we need to do is see some building blocks in that regard. So there's a lot to be fixed on the coaching side, man. Everyone's on to Bellerin about the Baba Roots thing, man. I have to reload that. He was good. I thought he was good in his little cameo. That's why I said, for me, I'm probably looking at El Nene, Partey if fit, and Maitland-Niles in midfield. But if I had to change it up and we're not going to go with Lacazette in that 10 role, my bro, then I'm looking at Ceballos just because he's a bit different, just because, he's a bit more mobile than Xhaka. And, I still have faith that there's a bit of a player there in Ceballos, even though he's frustrating. And I can't disagree. I don't think he is the answer. Like, I did think Ceballos, I'm not going to say he's going to set the world alight, but I thought he would have been playing to the sense of, how we're talking about Tierney and how we talk about Saka and previously Aubameyang, we'd be saying about Ceballos, and that he's almost doing Arsenal a favour being here. We can see Ceballos has wonderful technique. He's had some good games, but he struggled for consistency. And for me, the decision making is not of the maturity I want to see. He scored the midweek for Leipzig. That was a good that was a good game, really. Leipzig versus that Turkish side. That was a very good game, a very interesting clash. And he obviously scored. I wouldn't mind him, but he's not going to be cheap. Etal, I think he's regressed a bit. I like him. He probably would do bits in Italy, but again, there's still gaps. There's still gaps in his play. Do you think social media's got a part to play in poor form? Because the way today's society is, nothing goes amiss. I'd say psychologically it plays a part in your confidence, of course. You can't turn off. If I get nutmegged tomorrow, it doesn't. Previous years, it's just ended there. Or you might see on Sky Sports or Teletext, or you might see in the newspaper. Now it's remixed. You've got people on YouTube, you've got Talk Sport, you've got everyone chasing engagement levels. So I would say, to a degree, we're in uncharted lands, and maybe in future, in 20 years from now, we'll truly comprehend the impact that social media's had. I do think it plays a part, but at the same time, it's the internet. Turn that ish off. Like, simple as. Do you know, I'm not a footballer, but through being on bigger platforms than this and being on this, do you know how much scrutiny I face? I get a lot of praise. I get a lot of, oh, you're crap. Oh, your live stream's crap. Oh, why are you doing it again? This, that, and the other. I still have to air it and keep going, because I'm thinking, yo, that you're not gonna sit and lie. You wake up, you sit here like, raw. How are you so bad, man? That's deep. But it is what it is. I think to myself after that, all right, cool. There's man that hate the thing. There's man that love the thing. Man are going to talk either way. So let me get my head in the game. That's what the players have got to do. I think fans forget players are human and mistakes happen. But for Arsenal, mistakes happen way too often. It's a madness. It's a madness, Do you know what? I don't even care the fact. You know what? I don't care that Bellerin's a vegan. I don't care. I actually like the fact that he's a model. Not that I like him being a model, but I like the fact he's a model. I like that he's got other interests. People always say footballers are robotic, and when they show you your their lives, they get at them. I don't care about none of that. You can do that. People wouldn't be talking about if he was playing well. If Gabriel starts doing Starboy stuff like that, people aren't going to say anything. I don't mind any of that, but just put in good performances. I don't buy the whole you're lacking focus and all of these things. I just think it's complacency. I don't think he's really been met with friction. I just think he's stagnated. So in which, you know what, Bellerin, you've come out the academy via Barcelona. You've been here since 18 or so years of age. You've won a couple FA Cups. You've played a number of times here. Go and kick on in the next step of your development. Let's depart people, really and truly. I wouldn't mind the hoot, but if I'm taking anyone, it's someone I was speaking about from their days at Lorient and said I think we should go for left back. It's Guerrero. Little Uzi Verta said, what do you make Saka's best position? For me, he's a left wing, right wing. That's him all day. That's what I was seeing in the under 23s all day. But I have seen him at youth level excel at fullback. For me, he's a winger, but you can't rule out him having a future at fullback. He's also excelled in the 10. I think he's a fullback. I think he's a winger, out and out winger. But if need be, if you can do a job there, need to do what you can. He's an intelligent player. We don't understand anything, and this is why the club should come out and say certain things. You don't have to tell us everything, but come out and tell us the what's what with Ozil, with Saliba, so that if people do want to have opinions, they can say, all right, cool, that's why they're doing it, That's why they're doing it. It doesn't make sense when Arteta's coming out and saying, oh, I'm vexed that I can't include him and this, that, and the other and whatnot. I think we still need a midfielder, but I do agree that Maitland-Niles can give us an option. I think he's got qualities, but there's got to be a reason. Arteta and numerous managers have been reluctant to use him there on a consistent basis. And with that game against Spurs, he's got an opportunity to put himself into the lineup, people. It's as simple as that. They do. And like you said, it needs to adapt accordingly. Come on, people, like Elite said, drop the likes, people. Make sure your devices aren't on silent. Come on. Rion, I hope you're right. And we do beat Spurs. I really do. But it wouldn't surprise me and then go and lose to Burnley. That's the football club we support, unfortunately. The thing with Pepe, very hot and cold. Even yesterday, I could see Arteta mad. I was mad as well. Like, he's getting too excited. The fact that we're winning and stuff, Get your head. You done your skill. Get your head up. Play that pass, get an assist. And it's these sort of things where I can understand, frustrate Arteta, because these are the little things stopping Pepe from kicking on. They're just little, in terms of, with a football, they're just little niggling things he can improve. But, a lot of, I think, along with everyone, Pepe needs to improve mentally. He's got to smell blood. He's got to want to make the right decisions. He's got to want to make the difference collectively. I'd rather Rob Holding, to be fair, but they're neck and neck. He plays up front or he plays on the left. Simply put, he gives people a headache. That's what you want. I want us to have Arteta to have that. Oh, who do I play? Is it Aubameyang through the middle or no? Lacazette and Eddie have been informed, so let me move Aubameyang to the left. Oh no, there's Martinelli. Oh, I've got Pepe. I want these problems. I want to see these problems. This is it. If it was Willian, he wouldn't have said anything. I genuinely believe that. And people have put too much pressure on Martinelli. He is going through the honeymoon period before the injury. There'll be a time where he has a woeful game. Nobody spoke of, although he played well when he conceded a penalty last season against Liverpool, or his woeful performance against West Ham. It's the honeymoon period. And again, we need to rein it in, realize he's going to have good games and he's going to have iffy games. Big up everyone. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Do you think the board aren't saying a lot about, I think you mean Ozil, because it's a non-footballing reason that could open a lawsuit? Maybe, but I think they're just not talking because, they're not talking. They don't want to come out and say what they really want to say. Maybe they could play together. Nobody says anything when it's two right-sided centre-half, so why wouldn't they be able to play, in my opinion, together? Saying that, though, I would prefer Gabriel and David Luiz, personally. Big up everyone in the comments, people. Big up all 200 of you, 200 plus. It means a lot. We've been linked with him. I really do like him. And it is what it is. Miles, Spurs fan, big up yourself. I was a bit shocked at that. I saw Jose being very critical of your players, and I didn't understand that. I saw Ndombele play. I see Son Son play. Who else was there? You know yourself. There was a few first teamers, and I thought, you know what, you man are through with a point. Obviously, he didn't play well enough yesterday, but I would have thought rest the legs. Kane wasn't going to play. I wouldn't be worried. I would, again, form isn't too much to read into, but there's a lot of positive things for Spurs going into the game. I don't expect to win, and it kills me, but it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal win, purely because that's the sort of team we are, people. We will lose, we'll beat Spurs and lose to Burnley. That's what we're on. And I hope I'm not right to lose to Burnley, but I'm expecting to have ourselves handed to us against Spurs, Joe, this is where I want to see Arteta improve a bit, people, because the last time he's played managers that have been at a club for a while, or tactically good managers, he struggled, no disrespect to these managers, but, Scott Parker and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you can outsmart them. And I'm not saying Arteta can't outsmart, man, because he's done well against Chelsea when the players let him down. He's beaten Chelsea, he's beaten Pep, he's beaten Klopp. So I have to keep balance. But this season, You know, when he's gone against Dean Smith, who's been at Villa for a long period of time, as you know, when he's gone against Brendan Rodgers, who's got a firm DNA at Leicester, when you look at away to Bielsa's team, fair enough, there was a red card. When you look at Nuno, I think he struggles when there's a man that knows what they're doing tactically. I think he's struggling in that regards. I think he struggles. So that's what I want to see a bit better. I want to see him do a bit better. You know. And that's the thing. I don't want us to sit back. You lot are a great counter-attacking team, and you lot exploit the gaps. One thing I like about you lot is you lot will let the back line, you lot will let them press you and then hit them on the break, sort of thing. I don't think you'll play a high line purely because Toby Alderweireld and Dyer, they kind of, Toby can do it, but you don't want players to get into a foot race. So we'll have to see what happens. It'll be interesting from a tactical point of view. He very much is. I'm not going to lie to you. He is. Very good point, Elite. You know, we can critique him, but we have to ask points. I would love to be a scout for any club, much less Arsenal. You know, maybe I have to go to a Brentford, learn my chops, and then go to Arsenal. Brentford, if you're listening, shout at me, man. It was really, you know, they made the game harder than it needed to be, but both teams will have to fix up, really and truly. I think his best position is right or left wing, but, you know, left wing back, he does his thing as well. We all know Kane's going to play. Kane knows he's going to get his customary goal in the same way we're going to see that dive that we always see every year from Son, that same old dive which leads to a pen. You know, big up Son for his dives. I think Kane will play, man. Balogun and Smith Rowe would be on the bench for me, would do. I think you would have more viewers if you do your live videos towards the night. I can only do my live videos when I have the time, and I can't commit to doing it at the night all the time. But I do agree, when it does permit, I will. But morning, evening, night, Deluded Nation will still be here. There'll still be some sort of content. I've been waffling so much with you guys, people. I've actually forgot to speak about what I want to speak about. And let's get on to Arteta's thoughts in relation to the game, people. Or after the game. What? Why is it? Come on, I just copied and pasted all of that. People, I don't know what's happened there, but I'm going to have to quickly scroll over and go on arsenal.com because I had all my notes. All of them are gone. I don't know why. Oh, here it is. I don't know why Google Docs weren't showing me my business, but he does. He deserves to be involved, man. He deserves to be involved. Justin, I hope you're right. And that is it, man. To be fair with you, I don't know Marie's level. I think Marie's a squad player. I'm not really convinced with Marie, but I haven't seen anything to not be convinced. I think he's shown me enough to show that he can be comfortable. There can be a role here for him. He looks like he struggles with pace. So, yeah. He looks like he struggles in that regard. Let's move forward, people, and speak about what Arteta has had to say. He said, on restoring some confidence ahead of the North London derby, he said, yes, we have been really consistent in this competition. Wish we could say that about the Premier League. I think the boys showed a great energy, character, and aggression today. Right from the beginning, you could see they were touched from the last defeat, and everyone individually played a really good game. Pardon me. In the final third, we were really aggressive with the ball. We created many chances and scored 4 goals. Probably should have scored more. Now let's take that into Sunday, a very special game. We all look forward to it, and let's do it again. So let's be, you know, let's be on the front foot. Let's be brave when it permits, and see what we could do. And that's it, man. You know, he's got. That's why I think he will play. Obviously, you know, wishing health to Harry Kane and Harry Kane's missus, you know, and obviously the baby, and things like that. But I think Kane will play, and you know, if he is to have a child, and that rumor is true, Miles, wishing him his wife or his girlfriend or whatever their relationship is, and the loved one, a lot of support. I'm not too sure if that's if Saka has become a bit too selfish. I don't agree with that, but fair play. Everyone's allowed an opinion. Moving away from that, Arteta, he said what we wanted to hear. Not Gabriel, my bro. When asked on Lacazette playing in the 10 or his performance as a number 10, he said it was a really good game in that position. I think it suits him. It gives him a little bit of freedom. He's really good at linking play in those positions. He worked really hard and scored a beautiful goal. asked on Maitland-Niles in midfield. He said, what he's done today, the great thing with Ainsley is that he can fill various positions, and that's a great thing to have in the squad. You've said that about Chambers. So do you see Maitland-Niles as a squad player? He's played on the left as a wing back, on the right. He can play as a holding mid and as an attacking midfielder. And again, the performance like today helps, and he has a chance to play like everybody else. So he's probably G'ing him up in relation to maybe starting against Spurs. I don't think he will. Further on to Maitland, he said on whether he could add something extra in attack. He said, yes, the same with Emil and the same that Joe Willett gives you in those positions, because they are attacking midfielders. They are not holding midfielders. They have it in their minds that they want to make those runs, make that final pass. They want to shoot. And at the moment, we need that. We need people with the mindset to score. And obviously, inconsistent to what he said about, we haven't got the specialists. We're 5-6 man down. Why don't you give these young players? Now, I get it. Young players breeds inconsistencies, not like these experienced players haven't. But why, based on what he said when he gave the report about, needing specialists and whatnot, and the way he's spoken so far, that to me, why are you not playing Maitland-Niles in that role? Why are you not persisting with Joe, giving Smith Rowe chances? The only thing they have is against them is youth. And I get it. Youth are going to be inconsistent. If you give them chances, fans are going to become even more impatient. But are they going to do any worse than Willian, than Xhaka, than Bellerin, than some of these sort of players? I don't know. And he said they want to go there. They want to take their chances. They want to be aggressive when they have the ball. And when the ball is far from them, they have to make it to the box, because the middle of the goal is when the goals are scored. When you get in those positions constantly, the chances of scoring increases. So it's good to see that. So tactically, can you better yourself in that regards? And obviously for the players, can you do a bit more? But it's mainly on Arteta. Robin has said, DG, I assume you mean it's Curtis coming on at 12. That will be in another live stream, people. We will be here at 12. I'm going to go and get the information you lot require for that. I'm going to drop it in the chat now, people. Please hit the reminders. Please make sure you've hit the like and subscribe buttons across my channel. And obviously, please make sure you're at this live stream, people. I understand it's a lot to take on. I see 4 likes. Can we get that up to at least 14? Come on, you lot doing me dirty, man. Make sure you've opened up another tab for this one there, people. There it is. That will be me and Curtis from 12 p.m. So, yeah, man, what more can I take away from what Arteta has said? When I hear that, that tells me that you don't believe in the midfield options you're using and you want to use other midfielders. Now, of course, you can't have a bunch of attacking man just flying around for obvious reasons. I'd rather Marie. So, yeah, on Partey's fitness, he said, well, he's putting a lot of pressure on us. He's training tomorrow with us, which is today. And let's see how it goes in the next few days. That's a far cry from his 6 weeks out. And hopefully Partey is fit and we're being a bit coy, similar to Spurs and Harry Kane. And we will see our Ghanaian international midfielder play, because we need him, we need him. You see the problem with him. And that's why I said I don't want to rely on Partey, not because he's a bad player. It's that we're back to square one. We can't rely on one man. It's like Gabriel, touch wood, God forbid he gets injured. We're back to square one again. So it's dangerous. In the same way, we've been relying on Aubameyang to score, and 9 times out of 10, he's pulled us through it. But he struggled, and suddenly all the goals have dried up when you've got the whole team underperforming. Relying on one man in any squad is dangerous. Unless you're Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, them sort of man there where you can't help but rely on them. Shouldn't rely on them. I'm not saying don't look to them to make the difference consistently, but 38 games, it's naive. He was then further pressed on how many of the players who played yesterday could feature against Spurs. He said, well, you've seen in the last few games that we've used some players on the Thursday and then they've played on the weekend. And this can change and this will change. I don't try to use different competitions to put out 2 different teams. So he's being very coy. He said, he's more or less said, I will rotate and give people minutes. But also, when you look at Joe Willock, when you look at Ceballos and Xhaka, them and they have got minutes in the cup and in the league. So when you see the performance of potentially Lacazette, Maitland-Niles, I'm not saying it's a definite. I'm just saying it could potentially happen. It could potentially play both. And he said, I don't try to use different competitions to put out 2 different teams. It's because we're using them with the amount of injuries and suspensions and the performance level. So again, fitness, injury, suspensions, they're all a negative cocktail for us. And they can give us in various positions. You can see tonight that some of them might deserve to start the game on Sunday. So again, Lacazette, Maitland-Niles, whether it's right back or in midfield, Maitland-Niles for me needs to start. Nelson should be pushing his way ahead of Willian. And again, I've lost faith in a couple of these players, but if certain players start, something negative happens, then you've got to question Arteta's faith in these players once again, people. Moving away from that, he spoke about Lacazette's goal. He said it was great because to score that goal, you have to shoot. And he shoots from 25 yards. He took it. He never doubted. He took the first shot forward, not backwards. And that was the mindset of where is the ball? He shoots and he scores. Everyone today was really positive every time they got onto the ball. And we tried to attack the opponent's box as much as possible. I think when you shoot, anything can happen. And if you don't, we're never going to score goals. And I know we played in the Europa League, but a lot of what he said could be applicable or applicable to any Premier League game we've played. So it's almost like you're answering your own questions or you're answering the fans. We can't draw too much into that result. Yeah, there was movement. Man wanted the ball. There's psychological factors, but the basic premise, marry how, you think about defending with us going forward. And the players have got to want to do it, but also the manager, because we can sit and talk about the tactics. At the end of the day, the players need to show up. We can sit and criticize the players, but at the end of the day, they are listening to the manager. They might be playing poor because they're playing poor, but they're listening to the manager. And he said, you don't shoot, you don't score. And for me, the players have got to have the mentality. Lacazette's got to want to try that shot in the Premier League. Now, it might it might go in the Premier League, like he's shown in the reverse fixture against Spurs. Equally, it might go outside the Emirates Stadium and land on Seven Sisters Road. But I want to see the confidence to try it again. I always talk about competence. If you're a defender, can you actually defend? Consistency, because there's no point in 2 games this week, for instance, you being able to defend on Thursday and you being Calam on Sunday. So I need to see competence. I need to see consistency for obvious reasons. And I would also say confidence, because fans are going to turn on you. Things are going to go wrong. You need that bottle to say, yo, I'm still going again, sort of thing. Arteta spoke about the fans as well, and he spoke about the potential advantage fans will give Spurs being in the ground. He obviously praised our fans for returning, and it was a touching tribute. The fans being back there after 200 odd days, the fans being clapped off, Lacazette's little celebration in front of them. It is stuff, and we know we're going to have some very angry Spurs fans geeing up the players, and geeing up their players. And, for both sets of players, Arsenal, you're going to hear the abuse. Rise above it and use it to challenge you. Spurs players, they're going to have the extra spring in their step because the fans are going to give them their energy. And I'm telling you, certain comments that are a bit over the top from Spurs fans, they're going to hear it. It's going to be like playing in Sunday League. So you're really going to see over the next few months or so, not just Arsenal or Spurs players, you're going to see a number of Premier League players sink or swim due to that abuse. And if I'm, like you said, if Bellerin plays and I'm Spurs, target that. Put the ball in behind Bellerin. Son in a foot race, you know what time it is. Midfielders at Arsenal are probably not going to track back. You're going to get put in 2v1s. And also with that, what do Arsenal struggle with when dealing with crosses? Movement. People are not picking up, men. Like we failed against Ollie Watkins, against Jamie Vardy. Bamford should have scored. If you look on your half turn and you can't see Harry Kane, you're in problems. And, Harry Kane's been a villain. He's been scoring against us. Everybody knows he's a world-class striker. I don't need to tell you why realizing the threat that Harry Kane thinks is a problem. Harry Kane's a baller. You check one of my first few tweets. I've always bigged up Harry Kane. My boy used to play for Spurs. I used to watch Harry Kane week in, week out and say, why ain't this guy playing? He can hold. People always talk about this tenting. I'm telling you, he has been doing this dropping deep stuff since the moment he's been playing on reserve football at the time for Spurs. He drops deep. He wins fouls. He scores goals. Kane's an elite player. Son's an elite player. I love Ndombele. He's fitting in well. Spurs are playing well. They're unbeaten. They've got 4 points off Chelsea and City. They should have every belief to believe, okay, cool. We messed up on Thursday. Let's go and beat up Arsenal now. If we can, I'm not being funny, but it's Arsenal. We've seen Wolves, change their formation, which they probably won't against Liverpool. Beat up Arsenal, Leeds came into the Arsenal game off the back of 2 heavy defeats, 4-1, clean sheet. Spurs should be looking at, okay, cool. Our fans were a bit worried about these last few games, but we've got 4 points in the tank. We get our 3 points now. Maybe the league thing can happen for us. I don't think Spurs are going to win the league, but you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. He says the same thing about Maitland-Niles all the time, man. All the time. But we have to see, man. Oh, man, I see that message. I'm not here for that. Big up yourself. You're always here. And you need to come on my show. You need to. You really need to. You are always here. You didn't cap or tell no lies. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Justin's tuning in from California. Keep doing your thing, DG. Coming to you live from Pasadena, California. Big up yourself. I know where Cali is, but I don't know where that is. But that's sounding like a very good place. And, Cali, California, just the 4 letters of that sentence, you know, that's where I'm trying to hit up, you know, I need that curly. Let's, I got a brand. I don't know about any of that stuff. It's coming, bro. It's coming. Wait on my technology to get delivered to my yard, then we go. Do you think we should get Neres from Ajax if we sell Pepe? I think we should try and get him anyways. Would love Buendia. Thank you very much for subbing, my guy. And like he said, he's looking forward to it. Please make sure you've hit the reminders. You know, we're going live at 12 with Curtis Shaw and whatnot, people. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're there. I'm still awake from your watch along. Big up my Arizona tugs. I feel so. I apologize, man. I'm giving you lot way too much content, and I need to let you lot breathe and things like that. Let me allow you lot. But yeah, man. Hopefully we can do something. So yeah. You know, it'd be interesting to see if Lacazette plays in the 10 position. It'd be interesting to see if Maitland-Niles gets a role. It'd be interesting to see if Nelson gets a run out. I'm interested to see. You know, Maitland-Niles looks comfortable in midfield. That's what I want to see, man. I want to see him get a chance. But with Maitland, he's got to take his opportunity, because you see with Maitland, his biggest gift and curse is that he's very casual in possession. And he's got you know, there's got to be a reason for us. You see it, I see it, our fans see it. Even Jay just said, you know, Arteta says the same things. There's got to be a reason why there's been different managers here and nobody's played him in that role. Has it just been everyone's missed the trick, or has there been something in his play that concerns them, or something that's less to convince? Because Joe Willock, I think Maitland-Niles is a better midfielder than Joe Willock. But why has Joe been given that chance? But Maitland's been doing up left back and right back. You know, handful of times he's played in midfield. Pretty sure he played there against, is it Nottingham Forest in the cup? I'm not too sure if he had a good game. He had a good game against Old Trafford. Obviously, he played in midfield yesterday. You know, I'm kind of scratching my head, squinting my eyes. Look at all the wrinkles on my forehead. You know, thinking of them times. But we can speak about the numerous times he's done well at fullback. So there must be a reason. I'm not too sure about that. Big up Troops, but I'll give him a run for his money. But I don't know about any of that. I don't know about any of that at all, people. I really don't know any of that. But I can't lie to you lot. You know, I'm live at 12 with Curtis Shaw. We'll be back again. So I'm going to need to, you know, freshen up a bit and things like that. Please make sure you're heading over there and whatnot, because we'll continue this conversation. It's been a fantastic hour with you guys, but I need to keep it moving. Big up to everybody, because I keep seeing the same consistent faces across all my live streams. I appreciate all the newcomers. I appreciate all of you guys in here, man. It's really appreciative. Please make sure you hit the like button, and I see you all at 12, people. We're getting some love. Maitland-Niles is getting his love. You know, I like Joe. I just think Maitland's got more in his arsenal, really and truly. But this, you see, the problem is with Maitland, you don't want to become a jack of all trades, master of none. It's like Saka. You want it Saka for me, right wing, left wing. If we need him to do a job in midfield or at fullback, cool. Or if he's a fullback, cool. That's what he is. Maitland, is he a right back that can fill in midfield, or is he a midfielder that can fill in right back? You need to become a specialist of one and then do the other stuff. We've got too many jack of all trades, masters of none. Arsenal, historically, we keep having players that can play bare different positions and they don't really lock down any of them. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, we've had it, you know, even Smith Rowe, I think he's a 10, but is he a 10 or a winger or an 8? You know, Nelson, what is he? Do you get it, people? Martinelli, striker or winger. These are good problems, but we need to mold them into this. You know, the talent is there. Let's mold them. Let's have a real good plan. You know, Callum Chambers, I don't rate him too tough. I like him, but 1 minute he's played centre half, then right back, then midfield. You know, what is he? Do you get it? Well, this is where we're gonna end up if we don't fix up. Players need to be specialized. Once they've locked down a role, you can do what you need to do. Come on, my guy. Thank you very much for the praise. Please keep hitting the like button. We've got some haters, man. You don't want to fight crumb free, you know? Louder, man. They're not even worth hitting up. They can only do it online, man. Thank you very much for the super chat, Love Lanks. It means a lot, man. I really appreciate that $5. I really appreciate that. But I know I always say I'm busting out and I never bust out. I'll see you lot all in 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Open up that other tab, hit the reminder button, people, because me and Curtis Shaw will be live. We'll be focusing more on the Spurs game and whatnot to come, and obviously we'll touch on some other stuff. So please make sure you're all there and enjoy your Friday. And, you know, there's going to be a couple of live streams today. Admittedly, I still need to do the loan report. It will come out today, people. I've got a lot of content coming out for you lot, and tomorrow. We never, ever stop, man. Big up yourselves for locking in, people. It really means the world. But until then, until 12 p.m., I'm out of here. Please make sure you're there. There's 245 people here. You know, hit up some of the others, people. When you realize Arsenal but was Thursday. Not too sure of what you mean by that. But anyways, do your thing. You know, run up the likes I'll see you. Big up all the members. Thank you very much for the super chat and them things there. Thank you very much for everyone who's donated their time. Catch you all at 12 people. Open up that other tab. Hit the reminders.